Hello there, my name is Mr. Escret. I'm the Head of English and Performing Arts at Sir John Althorpe School, and I'd like to talk to you about English Language A-Level. The course is currently taught by myself, Mr. Waite and Mr. Andrews at Sir John Althorpe School, and is usually taught by Mrs. Longdon and Mr. O'Neill at the Vale. In terms of entry requirements, we look for a grade 6 in English language and at least a grade 5 in English literature in order to fully access and be successful on the course. So the first thing to say about your English language A-level study is that it will differ quite wildly from English language GCSE, and through the course we really tackle the fascinating topic of linguistics. The first unit that we'll work on is the language, society and the individual, and in this unit you'll be introduced to methods of language analysis, you'll explore concepts of audience, purpose, genre, mode, representation, and you'll also be introduced to child language development, how children learn language and how they learn how to express themselves through that language. You'll study a range of texts from different audiences, different purposes, different genres, from different writers and speakers. They'll even be from different modes as well. So there'll be some written text, some will be spoken, and others will be electronic text too, and they'll come from different times and different places. The unit really asks you to look at how to analyse text, so you'll explore how language is shaped according to audience, purpose, genre and mode. You'll look at how language is shaped according to context, how it's used to construct meanings, representations, and how language creates a relationship between writers, speakers and audiences, and how we participate within a text. You'll look at language analysis, how identity is constructed through language, which is a fascinating topic, how audiences are addressed and positioned, and the functions of the text. We'll also look at how representations are produced within written text, as well as spoken electronic ones too. At the Child Language Development Unit, you will look at the functions of children's language. You'll look at different ways that they develop that through phonological, pragmatic, lexical, semantic and grammatical ideas. And you'll look at lots of different theories about how that happens. The second unit is all about how language differs in different parts of the world and between different people. So you'll continue to explore those key concepts of audience, purpose, genre and mode, but we'll start to look at language and how it plays a part in wider social, geographical and temporal contexts. So how it differs over time period, different parts of the country and between different individuals. So we'll talk about a sociolect, which is how we use language as part of our social lives, as part of our social background, and what it says about our occupational groups, our social groups, even our gender and our race and ethnicity. We'll look at dialects, including regional and national dialects, which is really interesting. You even look at language of English, how it differs across the world as well. You'll continue to develop that ability to analyse language too. We also look at language discourses, so it's the idea of how attitudes are displayed within language, how diversity and change has taken place in our language, how language and text represent language, how they construct an identity for us, how they position our readers, and how we are connected to the ideas, discourses around language. The final part of the course is the non-exam assessment. There are two pieces of coursework. So the aim of that particular part of the course is to allow you to actually use language expressively and independently, and also to produce a language investigation in which you analyse your own research. So there are two kinds of different research. The first one is a language investigation, which is 2,000 words, not including the data that you develop, and you'll also be asked to produce a piece of original writing and a commentary. They're 750 words each. And the great thing about the language investigation and the original writing is it really allows you to drive the area of study that you're most interested in. So for example, you may choose to look at representations of different individuals within language. You might look at how regional dialects are represented and used. You might look at gendered talk and how gender is constructed through language and how our gender influences our use of language. You might look at how new communications have changed English. There's almost no limit to what you could explore within that. There's no restriction upon you, as long as you're looking at linguistic issues and really conducting some meaningful research. The second piece of coursework is the original writing, so that has to come from one of three areas. So you could write something that's very persuasive, some powerful storytelling, or some information, and you produce a folder which has your original piece of writing, but it also demonstrates how you've read other writing to influence your understanding of genre and style and mode. So, for example, you might choose to write a short story if you're interested in the power of storytelling, or you might write a piece of travel journalism if you're interested in that field of linguistic study. So all in all, it's a very diverse course which is driven by analysis and discussion of theory, and it really allows you to understand how language plays a prominent part in our everyday lives. Okay, so here is the assessment structure for your English language A level, and you'll notice that it's split into three components, two of which are 2.5-hour exams, and they're worth 40% of your English language A level. The first paper is the Language, Society and Individual paper, and that's split up into two sections. The first section is called the Textual Variations and Representations section, and in that you'll be asked to analyse two different texts that are united by a common theme, and you'll be looking for and producing an analysis of what they mean and what they represent, but equally how they're doing that. You'll also be asked to make a comment and analyse the context of the text, so the era, the time period, the social context in which they were produced, and offer similarities and differences and find reasons why those differences exist and indeed the similarities. The section B of that paper is the children's language development section, and that is an essay question. You have the choice of two options. Each question will have data attached to it, so it could be a child's speech, a piece of writing, or a mixture of both of them, and you'll be asked to evaluate an idea about children's language. So, for example, we look at how children learn to read. You'll be asked to evaluate a theory about that. Paper 2 is the Language Diversity and Change paper, and again you'll have a choice of two essay questions in that section in which you'll evaluate an idea about how diversity exists within language, or how and why language has changed. So for example, you might be asked to evaluate a theory, an idea about how gender influences our use of language. In section B of paper 2, you'll be asked to complete two tasks. The first one is an analytical task in which you'll be asked to explain how language conveys attitudes and ideas in two texts, and the final section of the exam portion of your A level will be a directed writing task in which you demonstrate your ability to write about the topic that you have just been reading about. The coursework I've mentioned, the non-exam assessment already, that's worth 20% of your A level, so there's a language investigation there and the original piece of writing. So by completing the course, you'll develop a wide range of skills, at the heart of which are always language and linguistics. You'll develop your understanding of the way that language plays a part in our everyday lives, how we use it to construct meaning, how others might use it to construct meaning about us. You'll ask questions and debate why people of different social classes speak so differently, why they have different accents, different pronunciations, and why vocabularies can differ. You'll ask questions about how our gender plays a role in the language that we use, and you'll ask questions about how society shapes us and how language plays a part within that. You'll complete some real-life research, so you might record the way that other students speak to one another and produce an investigation about team talk. You might listen very carefully to football commentary and try to understand the way that language is used in different contexts there. And the key part of that is the research is yours to drive, so you can really look at any area of linguistics that fascinates you, and you'll then have an opportunity to analyse that. You'll develop your ability to use language yourself in a creative context and indeed in non-fiction context too, for the directed writing and through the original writing elements of the course. Your ability to learn and evaluate theoretical approaches to linguistics will be really beneficial, because you'll be able to bring together a wide range of complex ideas in order to synthesize your own, which is a key academic skill for further study. And finally, you'll also develop your own academic writing ability and your ability to produce your absolute best in exam situations, which is again fantastic preparation for further study at university. The study of English language A-level really does open lots and lots of doors to lots of further study. So if you could go on to study English language or linguistics further at university, it's a great companion to English literature because it draws in so much analysis of language at a very close level, which is obviously really helpful for study of English literature later on. But it also draws on ideas of psychology, sociology, politics, journalism. You might be really useful for social work and as an educator too. So English language really does underpin lots of future areas of study and potential careers. Our students always enjoy English language A-level. I think they find it incredibly fascinating, and you can see some of the really positive feedback that we've had from the course on the slide that is shown now. I really hope I might have whetted your appetite to study English language A-level at Briggs Sixth Form. It really is a fascinating A-level, and our students are very, very positive about the impact that it has on their study and really enjoy the debate and discussion at the heart of which is English language. If you do have any further questions, staff at the Vale and at Sir John Althorp School will be more than happy to answer those, and I do hope you see yourself as a future linguist with us at Briggs Sixth Form. Thank you.